Tony Revis, world's greatest running journalist and broadcaster. What's your blog called, Tony?
TonyRevis.com.
TonyRevis.com.
Tony with an I.
Yeah.
Holy mother. You'll learn. Well, Peter's the guy who seems to be at his fittest right now. Patrick is coming back off an injury from last year, so he's still in the process of rebuilding to his top form. And Isabella has been off 7 years. Former world record holder at 5K on the roads, as a silver medal in the 04 Olympics in Athens. Then had gave birth to a son, and it came back some Achilles injuries. And so she's also on the return back, and I think we'll be running the Honolulu Marathon. So this will be a nice test on part of the course. But Peter, you're at the top of your game right now. What is your year, what does this race mean after running 59 minutes last week? What are you looking for in this race? What do you hope to do in this race?
I hope maybe I'll run.
You also 59 minutes here? Wow. He must not have been trying last week.
Peter, we're laughing with you.
We're laughing with you. It's very hot, very humid.
Wow.
Patrick, Patrick, we all come back.
The chase is on.
We all have injuries. That's one thing from the average runners to you very top runners. We all go through ups and downs. What's the most important lesson you can tell us maybe about the mental state of trying to come back from an injury to come back to top form? What's the most difficult thing, and what's the lesson we should all learn?
The first thing they should know is that sometimes injury is normal.
Why don't you come and look? Let's move everybody up here.
So an injury it's normal because you're training so hard that you're always on that fine line.
Yeah, sometimes you think it is normal because especially as elite athlete, we used to have a very high training. Which, we used to have hills, slopes, and all this. So sometimes you think it is normal. So the best thing is that you understand. And then you understand yourself, and your manager can still understand, and your family also. So that from there you can now find the way forward. For now, I can say I'm okay, and I'm on my way back. Yeah, especially on this time of building. Actually, since I have recovered, I have not got enough time to train, since I needed much time. Right. For now, I've trained for about 1 month.
Wow.
And something, yeah, which I can say like last time I traveled to Russia, so it is like my training was not going on well, but I'm hoping in my near future to concentrate on training, since from this race I will go back to Kenya and have my training, which will talk about, let's say, in the next 2 months.
2 months.
I hope to be in my top shape again, where from there I will decide which big marathon I'm going to tackle. Yeah, and I hope everything is going on well, yeah, according to how I feel my body.
So that's great, yes. And Isabella, away for 7 years to come back, what was the motivation? Why did you decide? I mean, you had such an Olympic silver medal, world records, you're one of the top runners in the world. What motivated you to come back into the sport? It's one thing to just jog and be healthy, but it's a very difficult, it's very hard training, and it has to be very focused. What motivated you to return to be a top elite athlete?
Okay, I can say my motivation actually came out from seeing all the other friends that I used to run with still doing well on the track, on the road, and on the marathons. So my aim in life was, at least before I retire and even get out of the sporting, I have to do every event. That's my aim now, to do the best at the marathon again, such that if I go out, I have to go out not with an injury, but on my own decision that I'm now getting out of sport.
And what was your injury?
I had a tendon rupture. It was
Achilles?
Yes.
A rupture of the
It was,
Achilles tendon.
Repaired once and the second time.
Surgery?
So, yes.
Oh.
So I'm happy that I'm back.
And everything is no problem?
Right now, no problem. Only focused on training and resting.
Well, that's great. Well,
The
go ahead.
Isabella, I mean, what I find remarkable is that after she had the baby, she went from a racing weight of 94 pounds to about 130 pounds.
Wow, what a beast, huh?
And then you had, so that was to lose that. I mean,
Yeah, well, who would want to be 130, for heaven's sake? For heaven's sake. Well, this is Zane Branson, by the way, who is the manager of these three athletes, among many others. And Zane was a very good runner back in his day as well, but he's managed these runners, and that's a full-time profession as well. Well, Peter, you have you've paced Patrick to his world record in Berlin in, was it 2011? And you've also paced Wilson Kipsang to his second fastest time, which is like one of the number 3, I think, on the all-time list in Frankfurt in that same year. You've run marathons, but you haven't really focused full-time on a marathon. Do you plan on taking your talent at the half marathon to the full marathon? And what's the difference between training half marathon and training full marathon?
And first of all, I'm very happy to be with you now. And maybe the difference with half marathon and marathon, the program is that for half marathon, you need some more long runs, maybe 30, 35 to 40. But half marathon,
That's kilometers.
normally maybe 1 hour or 1 hour, 20 minutes, and maybe some too much speed walks on the track, and maybe some fat legs on the road.
Patrick, do you believe that there's people who are built more for the, I always look at the half marathon as more like a 10K, you race more like a 10K than a marathon. Are some people built for the half marathon and lower, and some people really just physically and psychologically better suited for the marathon? Because I mean, for instance, you don't have great 5,000 meter track times, and not that you couldn't, but you seem to have always focused on the longer distances. Is that something which came naturally to you? Why did you choose to concentrate on the longer distances?
Yeah, actually, I can say one thing is that in Kenya we used to have a very, very high competitive, especially when we are selecting our team to compete in international. So sometimes, actually, I did not go to the right chance. So from there, I decided to do something which it's something which was from my heart. So from there, I decided to do a kind of training which was, I was not training for a track, but most of the times I was to do some intervals on track. So from there, I could not qualify for 5,000, 10,000, but my pace was only to run half marathon, which went on well. Yeah, then actually I can say that was only my way to do well in half marathon.
How difficult, Peter, is it, the competition in Kenya? Sometimes the Olympics is not as difficult as making the Olympic team in Kenya, in all distances, from 800 meters through the marathon. The competition, I was at the Olympic trials in Nairobi in 2012, and in the competition there's a deeper pack in many ways, especially for steeplechase, those kinds of races. Talk about how the competition back home, from even young boys and girls, brings out the best in the athletes.
You know, in Kenya, we have many elite athletes. We have thousands, 2,000, 3,000. So every year, new athletes are coming up. So sometimes you will find people maybe training hard, other are training for other programs like marathons, other are focusing on half marathon, but most of them are specializing in track. That is why people making their teams for Olympic several times. All
right, well listen, we're going to get you guys up and running, and then afterwards we can stop and have some pictures taken as well. So we're glad everyone could join us, but let's go out and spin our wire.